back to a new video. Just wanted to say before we start, if you like this video or if you're not already, please subscribe below. I would really appreciate it. And like the like button. It would mean a lot. Today's video is a little difficult to talk about just because it's about a subject that's so, I don't want to say controversial, just a lot of people have a lot of opinions on it. I just want to be open, and I'm hoping that this video will help a lot of people who are trying to make a decision. If you like cosmetic surgery or plastic surgery, you don't like it, you're against it, whatever. This was just for me to have confidence that I decided that this was what's best for me, and I'm not saying that this is what's best for everyone. Just everyone has their own personal decisions to go through, and no one should really judge other people because of these decisions. If I'm looking down, I just wrote down some points on my phone so that I can keep track and say everything. I never felt comfortable with my smile. Hopefully I'll insert a picture. It was always really gummy, like really gummy, to the point where it was like 50% gums and 50% teeth. Just really noticeable. And my side profile, I'll insert a picture here. My side profile was, I don't really know how to explain it. It just looked off. Like, it didn't look right. You could tell that there was something structurally wrong. So because of this, I never felt comfortable smiling. I always felt awkward giving presentations, speaking. It really affected the way I spoke. I'm not a doctor. I don't really know the right terms, but because my jaw, there's so much like gum, it was really hard to see my words. It still is a little bit hard, but it's so much better. You have no idea. So I would always feel so awkward talking to people. Whenever I was talking to people, especially strangers, I'd be like, oh my god, are they looking at my mouth? Like, so self-conscious about it, which is not a good way to go through life. It was awful. And the funny thing is, when I was going through my camera roll to like get pictures for this video, I realized that from the last 6 months before my surgery, I literally did not have one picture of me smiling where you could see my smile. Not one picture in 6 months on my camera roll, because I still have the same phone. And I think that's so sad. All the pictures were me just going like this, so that you couldn't see my smile. After I got my braces off, I had thought that it was gonna fix gumminess of my smile, I'll call it. My smile was still just as gummy when I got my braces off. My mom, being the best mom ever, shout out to her. She is honestly the best. I don't know what I would do in my life without her. She was like, okay, we'll figure this out, try to help it, we researched ways that we can. So in high school, I got a procedure where they lasered off my gums around my teeth, so that my teeth were bigger and they would take up more of my smile, and it would remove some gums, but the difference, it wasn't really noticeable at all. It like didn't really do much. And then I started getting relaxants inserted underneath my nose right here, which kind of the same thing as Botox. I don't know if it's called Botox, but they did the same way. They took a needle and they inserted it right there, and I got that every 6 months, and that was to lower my upper lip because it was up so high, to try to hide some of my gums. That helped a little bit. We had to go back every 6 months, and it didn't really make a whole lot of difference. I thought at that time that I could not imagine continuing the rest of my life going back every 6 months for that. Not like putting a band-aid over a big wound or cut. It was like a fix, but it wasn't really a solution, I guess you would say. When I was finishing up high school, I knew I would be meeting a bunch of new people in college. They had never seen me before, kind of just starting over. I thought that that would be a good time. So me and my mom searched and we found a surgery that my orthodontist with my braces had actually recommended to us when we got the braces off. He said that would be a fix to the problem. That's what you have to do. But it's an extremely intense surgery that was so daunting. I don't remember the exact name of it, but researching it, you had to have braces on for another 6 months, your jaw wired shut for 6 weeks after, and you couldn't eat solid food, so you could only have soft foods and liquids. By the time I reached my senior year, I was just tired of feeling insecure. I decided to go ahead and pursue the surgery, and I actually went to Boston Children's Hospital. Lucky for me, my teeth were so straight and in the right position for the surgery that they actually didn't need to put braces on me again, and I didn't need my jaw wired shut. So after they told me that, I was like, okay, that was the only thing that was really stopping me. But like about 6 months, I had a couple different appointments within the 6 months of them just taking pictures of me and doing x-rays, molds, getting ready for the procedure. We ended up scheduling the surgery for a couple weeks before I ended my senior year, because it actually takes a whole year for all of the swelling to go down. This past June was the 1 year of it, but this past May was the 1 year of it. My mom and I decided that we wanted it to be completely healed by the time I started college. So the only way to do that was get it done a couple weeks before my graduation, after AP exams, and then I would be mostly done for school, so I wouldn't really miss much. Weeks before school ended, I took those weeks off and I went to get the surgery. And going into the surgery, I was so nervous. It's just really intimidating. This is like the picture on my way there. If you can't see it in my eyes, I look completely terrified. It looks like I'm about to break down. I don't know how I held myself together. Kind of just explain the procedure a little bit, and I just want to say, I'm not a doctor. They tried to explain it to me, and I'm telling you what I understood about it. But I'm not an expert by any means, and so I forgot to say this when I was filming, but I noticed when editing, I forgot to mention the name of the surgery. So the name of the surgery is orthogonactic surgery, and it's corrective jaw surgery for my upper jaw. And they cut or lasered my jaw, like right here underneath my nose. They took it out, then I don't know how much they took it out, but they disattached it, then they cut the top of it to make it smaller, and then they reattached it with screws to the rest of my face again, and then they enhanced my chin by, you can actually still feel it here, by cutting here, like cutting it, disattaching it, moving it out, and then keeping it together with like screws there. So I have a bunch of screws in my face, but they don't go off, so it's fine. They injected me with anesthesia, and the surgery is a couple hours long. It's obviously an intense surgery. There's like a whole crew, nurses, I don't know. What I pictured was Grey's Anatomy or something like that. Me to sleep, and then a second later, like that, I woke up. And when I woke up, being the hypochondriac and dramatic person that I am, was like, I can't breathe, and I was like gasping for air, and they were like, why? I'm just a really dramatic person that has like a pain tolerance of about this. So that was me, and they were saying to my mom and Tom that they couldn't move me into recovery until I could actually breathe. My face was about double, triple the regular size of a human face. I literally looked, I don't even know how to explain it, like a balloon. Couldn't move it. I couldn't really feel it. It was all numb. I was just in a lot of pain. It's like in and out of consciousness, and it was, I don't even really remember much about that day, to be honest, afterward. A lot is just like what people have told me. I remember the nurses kept coming in and they kept on giving me medicine and giving me fluids. Or throw up once when I try to stand up. I think I'm invincible, so I was like, oh, I can stand up. I know you're not supposed to, but I can. So I stood up to the bathroom and like fainted on the toilet basically, and then threw up. Went home, and the next morning they kicked me out, even though I wanted to stay, because I just could not picture taking care of myself without the nurses. And when I came home, I just got on my bed and I lied in my bed for about 2 weeks. Like, I didn't really move. Sometimes I'd venture down to the couch to watch TV downstairs, where like all the other living things were. But yeah, that was my 2 weeks. My face was ginormous. I couldn't move it. So when you get jaw surgery, you can't move your face. It's just pretty much all numb. Like, I couldn't feel anything around here. It was painful for about 1 to 2 weeks, but after that there really wasn't much pain. In the first week or two, I wouldn't really call it as much pain. It's just more like discomfort. You feel uncomfortable. You don't really know what to do. You just have ice wrapped around your cheeks like 24/7. I was on some like meds, so I didn't really feel much. But I stopped taking them earlier than I was supposed to, just because I didn't need them. If you're thinking about getting jaw surgery, the pain isn't really bad as you would think it would be. And you can't eat for 6 weeks, so it's only soft or liquid food. The first 2 weeks for me, I did not care. Like, it was not a big deal. I had no appetite. Like, I just really wasn't hungry, and like my mom would have to force me to eat. And I was being a baby and was obviously being like, no, I'm not eating. Not eating hard food isn't as hard as it sounds, because there are so many good soft foods that you can eat that I ate. It really is not that bad. Some foods that I ate, if you're looking for examples: froyo, it's a good one, mashed potatoes, ramen noodles, really any pasta you can eat, yogurt. I ate a lot of oatmeal. That's something else. At around 3.5 to 4 weeks, there really wasn't much. Like, there was swelling, but it wasn't bad enough that I couldn't go out. At this point, I wasn't really in pain. It was just numb, which you completely get used to. It's really not that bad. At that point, I was ready to start going out, so I went on walks with my mom and the dogs, and I was starting to go out in public, and it was fine. You're still really big. Like, I don't want to downplay that. You are really big. It's just no one knows what you look like before. So if you're going out in public, no one's gonna be like, oh my god, look at her. Like, your face just looks big, and it could just be like that. It's not completely obvious that something's wrong. And at around 6 weeks, I look like a normal person. Obviously all the swelling didn't go down by then. Honestly, for like 6 months, when looking back, I can see changes, but by the 3rd month, I look completely normal. You keep on seeing subtle improvements throughout like the next 6 months and the year. It does change more for the better. By 6 weeks, I did look like a normal person, and then I was able to eat food. Fun fact, the first food that I ate when I could eat food was a Green Goddess Cobb salad from Panera, and it tasted like the best thing on earth. It was so nice to get that okay, you can go. Looking back on it, if you're considering it, it's only 6 weeks out of your life where you're kind of out of it. Not even. Like, I would say about half of that. So for me, it was completely worth it. I feel so much more confident now, and I don't regret a second of it. I love the way that it turned out. If you are considering it, reach out to me. I remember being extremely nervous, and it's just a really daunting thing. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it.